Will VAR cease to exist in the Premier League? I'm making this video here on Thursday afternoon, so we can talk about the possibility of VAR being abolished in the Premier League in the 24-25 season. That's right. We are facing the biggest and best national league in the world voting on whether or not VAR will continue for next season. I'm going to talk about the information, what I think about it, how the Premier League works. Everything in the Premier League is decided at the annual General Assemblies, which is an assembly with the 20 clubs that will compete in the season that is about to start. And this meeting is scheduled for June 6th, 5 days after the Champions League decision, and a request from Wolverhampton is already on the agenda for the clubs to vote on the extinction of the VAR in the Premier League. This request, to succeed, needs to be voted on by 2/3 of the 20 clubs. If we do a calculation rounding up, logically there are 14 clubs. 14 clubs out of 20 give 70%, 13 clubs give 65%. So for the measure to pass, at least 14 clubs need to say yes, we want VAR to be abolished in the Premier League. This is what Wolves asked for, and in Wolves' arguments there are basically two situations. Firstly, Wolves say that VAR has made a lot of mistakes in games in England, whether by making mistakes or due to a lack of discretion when calling the referee to the monitor or deciding not to call the referee to the monitor. According to Wolves, there have been a lot of mistakes, a lot of lack of criteria in these situations, and this has gotten worse. In fact, VAR has not been able to do what it should, which is to put an end to controversial moves. That's Wolves' first argument. Wolves' second argument, and this is something that is present in English football dialogue, is that VAR has made football a less enjoyable experience. VAR has made the moment of the goal somewhat uncertain because when the goal is scored, the fans don't know whether they can celebrate or not. They are on the back foot, waiting to shout a goal whether the VAR will go in or not, for offside, for a foul, for any reason, thing. So, according to Wolves, VAR, even if it gets it right, makes the football experience and the passion for football worse. These were Wolves' arguments. Earlier today, Sky Sports News reported that, according to their findings, the majority of Premier League clubs will vote to maintain VAR. This is information from Sky Sports, which is a relevant vehicle in the United Kingdom, and they say that the majority will vote to maintain VAR. I think this is wonderful. VAR in England is bad, terrible. I'll say it again. VAR in England is terrible. No wonder, in the 2022 World Cup, two relevant football countries did not send VAR to the World Cup. What are the two? One is Brazil. FIFA said, "No thanks, I don't need anyone operating your VAR." And the other was England, because the English VAR operation is terrible, horrible. People who are passionate about the Premier League will say this is absurd. And I'm telling you, as much as you love the Premier League, I'm giving you the information. English VAR is terrible. The English VAR doesn't apply the rules, doesn't use the protocol, marks what he wants, comes in when he wants, doesn't come in when he wants. It's a surabeo. The English VAR is an asshole. And that. So, I've been saying this for a long time. It sucks. English VAR is shit. But it's much better today to have a bad VAR, like the English one, than to have no VAR. Today, football at the first level, on the top shelf, no longer exists without VAR. I understand Wolves' request, but for me, today, a respectable league, a quality league, does not exist without VAR. According to Sky Sports, this demand from Wolves will not prosper. England, or the English clubs, instead of wanting to remove VAR from the Premier League, which I think if it left it would return at the first hand goal that happened, or the first 3-meter offside that happened, they would return with VAR running. Instead of trying to take away VAR, they should demand that VAR follows the established standard, the established protocol that works. In Spain it works, in Italy it works, in the Netherlands it works. Just come and say, arbitration committee, follow what FIFA says. Come in when you have to. But the game will stop. It's better to stop the game and get it right than not stop the game and leave a mistake. VAR in England just needs an adjustment. The problems we have seen are not an indication that the technology itself is useless, but rather that its implementation needs to be refined. What we really need is a more consistent and judicious system where VAR referees strictly follow the protocols established by FIFA. It is much better to make this adjustment by continuing with VAR than simply removing this tool. Removing VAR would be a huge step backwards, returning to a time when wrong decisions were accepted without challenge, often deciding the outcome of championships and relegations unfairly. In 2024, there is no world-class league that operates without the help of VAR. The biggest international competitions, such as the Champions League, the World Cup, and the main European leagues, use VAR to ensure more fairness in games. Therefore, I think that Wolves' proposal will not prosper. According to information from Sky Sports, the majority of Premier League clubs are inclined to maintain VAR. This indicates that there is a consensus on the importance of technology, despite current flaws. The path is not to remove VAR, but to improve its application. And why is VAR in England bad? Because he doesn't come in when he should. In clear plays, where the protocol requires VAR intervention, it often remains inactive. This creates enormous frustration, as the promise of VAR is precisely to correct obvious errors. The philosophy of minimum interference and maximum efficiency never fully worked in England. Interference is often minimal, but efficiency, which is correcting the most glaring errors, fails. The problem is that the application of VAR in England has been inconsistent. In some cases, we see VAR being called for relatively minor calls, while in others, clear error calls go without review. This type of unconsciousness not only frustrates fans, but also discredits the tool itself. The solution lies in better training VAR referees and ensuring they follow protocols strictly. This means intervening whenever there is a clear and evident error, regardless of the stage of the game or its apparent magnitude. It is also important that communication is clear and transparent, as was done when the Premier League released audio of a problematic review to explain the error. Rather than removing VAR, the Premier League should focus on tweaking and improving the system, learning from best practices from other leagues that have implemented VAR more successfully. This includes investing in ongoing training for arbitrators and in technologies that can help reduce review time, making the process more streamlined and less intrusive. I believe that, with these adjustments, VAR can fulfill its original purpose of increasing fairness in football, making competitions more balanced and minimizing errors that can be costly for clubs and players. Maintaining VAR and working to improve its application is the best path forward for the Premier League. For those who are worried, I don't think VAR will disappear in England. Despite the criticism and problems faced, VAR is an essential tool for modern football. It is here to stay and is a fundamental part of ensuring fairness in decisions on the field. Mistakes still happen, but the goal is to reduce as much as possible the injustices we have seen for so many years. I repeat, for me, top-level football does not exist without VAR. The most important leagues in the world have adopted this technology and are continually working to improve it. Without VAR, we would return to a time when illegal goals, unmarked offsides, and non-existent penalties decided games and championships. VAR, despite its flaws, has brought an extra layer of precision and fairness to sport. I want to hear you. What do you have to say about this? Do you think VAR should continue in the Premier League, or do you agree with Wolverhampton's arguments that it undermines the football experience? Leave your opinion below in the comments. I read them all and I want to know what you think. And don't forget to like the video if you like the content. This really helps the channel to grow and bring more videos like this to you. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates and turn on the notification bell to be notified whenever a new video goes live. This way, you stay up to date with all the news and discussions about the world of football. Also, copy the link of this video and share it in your WhatsApp and Telegram groups. Let's spread this discussion so that more people can participate and give their opinions. It is very important that we have a broad debate and hear different points of view on the future of VAR in the Premier League. Thank you so much for listening to all of you. Thanks, and see you in the next video.